Let's be joined now by former Labour Special Advisor Paul Richards. Good morning to you, Paul.
Morning, Julian.
Thank
How are
you
you?
very well indeed. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, you're a former government advisor for the Labour Party last time round. And what do you make of the announcements today that we're going to see the more detail, but it doesn't look like there's going to be that much detail on getting Britain working? It seems to be telling local mayors, local councils and local health services, you need to help get people working. There's going to be a sort of review and a commission with some employers, try and get them to help get people working, despite then making it very expensive for them to hire people by adding on national insurance costs and minimum wage costs. But there's nothing at all to actually tackle the massive rocketing sickness benefit bill. Do you think this is going to get a single person back to work?
I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss this out of hand, Julia, because I think it is a praiseworthy attempt to fix a problem. And the problem is enormous. I mean, you mentioned the fact I was in government last time round. You know, after 14 years, this government is dealing with a much bigger crisis with millions of people economically inactive, and partly because of COVID, partly because of changes in the job market, and also partly because people are genuinely mentally and physically ill. So I think ministers, you know, need to be given a bit of encouragement in this, because as a nation, we just can't afford to have 3 million people.
No, we can't. I'm not a cheerleader. It's not my job to go, oh, well done, Keir and Liz, well done, do keep the good work up. It's their job. The Tories failed at it, they failed at it. When you say due to COVID, no other Western nation has seen their unemployment, well, their economic inactivity rate go up or at all, let alone as much as this. Since COVID. It's not due to COVID, it's due to lockdown policies that basically said to people, it's all right not to work, we'll pay you to sit at home. It became for some reason, socially acceptable. This isn't, if it was due to COVID, it would have happened across the Western world, and it hasn't happened.
Sure, and I said partly COVID. We are an outlier in the UK.
So it can't be COVID then, can it?
Which is why Liz Kendall's putting the white paper forward.
OK, but it can't be COVID then, it's something else that's going on. What it is disincentives to work in the benefit system, in particular, the incentive to claim sickness benefit, so you get given more benefits. You don't have to prove anything. Anxiety, depression. It used to be backache. Now it's anxiety and depression. And then they basically leave you alone, and you're just able to just live on basically stealing. I'm saying, let's be honest, stealing other people's hard-earned tax money.
That is why the whole revamp of the job centre is on the table today, and we're talking about getting people back to work through. You know, it might be they don't have the skills that are needed. They may be genuinely ill. They may have mental health problems, which can be fixed at source, and get people back to work. But the big picture here is if, as a nation, we are not going to grow and prosper with millions of people just taking.
No, we're not, and we need to get people back to work. But if the biggest single, no, they're not tackling it head on, because all they're going to do is a review that starts next year into how they might go about tackling sickness benefits. Even the plan to tackle.
The white paper is today, isn't it?
Yeah, the white paper is today, and they've said in the briefings to journalists and the front page of the paper today that they're not actually doing a clampdown on sickness benefits. They're going to have a review into it. They're kicking it into the long grass. They've had 14 years. As Helen Whately, the opposite number, again, they had 14 years in government to tackle it and didn't tackle it. But even down to things like, revamping job centres, so people who, already in work, it's not just for the jobless. Most employers don't go to job centres to get staff now, because they know the poor quality of some of the people they're going to get who are just going through the motions to get their next benefits check.
Well, that's why it needs revamping. That's why I'm saying we should be looking at this with a bit of hope, because actually it will give people skills that they need. And
How will it give people skills?
You said in your intro, there are jobs out there, and there are jobs out there. That is true, but often people don't have the skills to do them. And so if we reimagine what a job centre is, not just a place to sign on and get your benefits, but actually somewhere to open up doors to new opportunities for work, people, give them the skills they need. People need to have their horizons broadened a bit, so they might have to travel a bit further to go to work. They might have to work
and if they say no,
and so on. But that's what.
And if they say no, and this is
helping people.
We should absolutely be helping people who want to be helped. And lots of polls, people say, they want to work. What they want to do is they want to do a job that they think is worth their while to do. But the reality is a lot of the jobs these people who are claiming these benefits could actually do are low paid, low skill, quite boring jobs, which a lot of people don't want to do. But you know what? I don't think they should get the choice.
Well, I think we do need to change the way we look at work, and it shouldn't be a choice. It should be you have to go out and work if you
But there's
can.
nothing. There's nothing in this. There's nothing in this to require people to work.
Well, that's always been the basis of the sort of the deal that we strike with the public.
There's no requirement for people to get a job.
It shouldn't be a lifestyle. We've been saying that for years.
Yeah, I know, but there's no requirement in this. Look, even this plan,
the way towards doing that.
This youth guarantee will mean unemployed 18 to 21-year-olds lose their benefits if they refuse to take up jobs or training opportunities. That's
pretty tough, isn't it? I mean,
no, that's already the rule. That's already the rule, and yet it doesn't happen.
Well, I think this revamp today and the announcements that Liz Kendall is making will make it work. And young people shouldn't have a choice of idling. I mean, they should be at work or in training or in education.
And what if they don't turn up?
We shouldn't have millions of people doing nothing. But as a nation, we have to get people back to work, don't we? Because otherwise we will fail as a nation if millions of people are inactive for whatever reason. So that's why I'm saying ministers today are grasping the nettle. They are getting on with it. OK, there's a review on the sickness. But, you know, this is only the first few months of a new Labour government.
They've kind of known they were ahead in the polls for a couple of years. They could have done a little bit of planning, maybe talked to some people in advance about it. My best friend works in the benefits office. She could give them some advice on how to do it. But if you're not going to, if it's going to be a bit of carrot, but not much carrot, and no real stick, which is what I think is going to be, you're not going to make a blind bit of difference.
Well, hang on. You've just said there's no detail, and now you're dismissing details you haven't seen yet. I mean, let's wait and see.
Well, Liz Kendall was asked whether there'll be proper sanctions.
We'll see how tough it gets when the laws come through. And the review, you know, you don't know what that's going to lead to either. But I think the fact that ministers are just addressing this head on this morning.
But they're not addressing it head on. That's my entire point.
All kinds of trouble if we don't. You know, we've got a huge number of people who are inactive, and as a country, as a nation, and as a community, we've got to get people back to work.
Paul,
isn't that good?
With all due respect, you just said the same thing 4 or 5 times, which is, oh, we've got a problem, we need to deal with it. Yeah, okay, yeah, we know that. How are we going to do that? There is nothing that I have seen in what has been pre-announced that remotely touches the size of the scale of the problem and actually is going to make a difference.
Well, that's where you and I would disagree on this, because I think reimagining what a job centre is,
reimagining,
a place where you can actually get skills and get work and get support.
They're not going to get skills at a job centre.
You know, change the way you think about work is definitely going to help. I think that will transform it.
A lot of the skills that people don't have. It's not they haven't got the latest IT skills. They don't know how to work an alarm clock. They don't understand that they have to turn up somewhere on time and dress appropriately and look someone in the eye when they speak. They haven't got turn up when it's raining. Or on a Monday after a heavy weekend.
Well,
they don't have basic life skills.
But it is also to do with actual hard skills as well. It's soft skills and hard skills. But your job centre should be somewhere where you can go and develop some of those things. And young people can learn. They have to turn up on time, and they do have to dress appropriately, and they have to come even if it's raining. You know, and that. But you can teach that. That's what the job centre should be doing.
You can teach that. And what happens when they don't learn it?
Well, then, as you've said, then they're not going to get the benefits for life. It shouldn't be a lifestyle choice. You know, the deal is you work if you can, and if you can't, we'll help you.
And we'll see. I'll tell you what, Paul, I've known you a very long time. At the end of these 5 years, if there are more people in work as a result of these reforms than there were last time, I will take you out for a very nice slap-up dinner.
Well, I will take you up on that offer, Julia.
Excellent. There we are. All right then, Paul. Lovely to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Former Labour Special Advisor there. Claire Pearsall, I mean... I love Paul. He's a great guy. I love the optimism. There's just nothing in here that suggests it's going to achieve anything.
But what reimagining the job centre? What are they going to do? Put some new carpets and a couple of new chairs?
Well, there will be jobs. There will be jobs because someone's going to redesign the logo. Yes. There's going to get new-headed note paper. Yeah. Oh, I mean, but all those people will be in work.
Oh, well, that's all right.
They'll get a nice Polish guy to put a new sign up.
But also, we've done
They will, though. There'll be a lovely Estonian printing company. I mean, you know what's going to happen.
Nice polo shirts for everybody on, on reception, and some security guards.
New rainbow lanyards for everyone.
With pronouns on their badges. I know what it's going to be like.
Make a single person get back to work.
Isn't. So I'm not sure how you can reimagine something. That was a very Labour phrase that did make me laugh. Yeah. And I do like Paul. He is very, very good. But on this, I think he's just wrong.
I just think this always comes down to quite a Labour and again a sort of lefty Tory party attitude. It's all just a bit embarrassing talking about poor people, like working class people who are not at work, and how you can't be nasty about them because they've had these terrible lives. It's so patronising. Yeah. When aspirational working class people are working their socks off to get ahead and have to do twice as much work to get ahead as someone who's born middle class. Hi, I know this because I am middle class. But you know, and it's so patronising. The low expectations of many people on the left
Yes.
the centre, so-called centre ground of many people. I just think it's just, it's appalling.